Duh. Okay. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Whoa, it is so cold. It is so cold. So, defending Elvis Presley fans want the truth. I'm so sorry that I've made you wait. I always make you wait because I don't know what's happening in this house. I'm always waiting for something to be done, and then I'm allowed to come on. Whoa. Oh, I tell you what, I'm freezing. My hands are cold. I need gloves. I need gloves. I've got the heating on. It's still cold. England is going to snow, guys. England is going to snow. Right, let me just quickly go through your comments. Is Ayisa here? Because I was going to eventually go through this, but I wanted a few people to join us first. So it's a difficult one because a lot of you come on English time in the afternoon because obviously half of you are in America. About 20% of you are in the UK, thank you. And we've got Australia, Canada, all different countries. So I'm not sure how many we're going to get on now because in America now, what is it? It's like 6 in the morning. So I'm not expecting many people to come on. So I'm only going to do this book when we've got a decent amount of people to question. So at least 30 people. So let's just see how many come on. But there was a couple of things I wanted to read on this book. I've never seen this book before, even though I'm not a big fan of Lamar Fike. So what I thought I would do, hi Yisa, what I thought I would do, waiting for people to come on before I do the questions, is read some of this bit. There was a question and answer bit, which I quite liked. So I thought what we could do while we're just seeing if we can increase the numbers is just say some of these. The whole book is questions and answers. Well, not the whole book. Actually, no, looking at it, it is the whole book. So before I start doing the question and answers, let me just see. Linda sent me this. Let's have a look. I may as well read it. So Linda, what she does, I mean, she hasn't been on for 4 or 5 days. Linda, where are you? So I know Christmas time, everyone's busy. So what I'm going to do is read this, see if people join us, then eventually do some questions with Ayisa. But we'll see. So the book is, this is Linda's book. Truth, Myth and Beyond, an intimate conversation with Lamar Fike. So obviously the whole book must be, I'm guessing, is a conversation with him. You know, he was with Elvis a long time. He does know a lot about Elvis. So I'm interested to see in some of the things he says. It says Lamar Fike, Elvis Presley's closest friend, aide and confidant. Then he's got a couple of as told to Ellie McCullough and Harold E. Eggers Jr. I have no idea who they are. It says Elvis, Truth and Myth Beyond. Let me just check it. Let me just read the beginning bit. 400 questions you've always wanted to ask Elvis. Well, that's interesting. Nearly 40 years after his death, Elvis Presley remains one of the most intriguing human beings. Millions of people still want to know intimate details. What did he think about his music? What did he really do behind the gates of Graceland? What were his final thoughts the day he died? We have the answers here. Does the world need yet another book about Elvis? Perhaps not, but it will. But it will want Elvis, Truth, Myth, and Beyond because it's real. Okay, and then we've got, looks to me like about 15 chapters. I'm not going to read them all out because it'll take forever. Then we have Marty Lacker saying something. Let's have a look. We have quite a long introduction, which looks to me like it just talks about Elvis's life. Interesting. I could read that, but let's just read. I just want to read these notes. Let me just quickly check your comments. Let's have a look. So we've got Elizabeth and Jean and Lorna, Aisa, Denise. Who else? We've got Adrian. Hi, Adrian. Jane. Hi, Jane. Okay. Deborah. Hi, Deborah. Oh, someone's just gifted a membership. Who is that? No, is that someone just joined? Member gift. Yeah, Denise gifted 1 Defending Elvis Presley fan membership. That's very kind of you, Denise. Thank you so much. Thank you, Denise. You're very kind. Let's have a look. So we've got Emily is on. Hi, Emily. Lorna is on. And the person who got gifted the membership is called GIGIO6. I wonder how it works. I wonder how these people get picked. I think it's random. You're very kind, Denise. Thank you. Right, okay. So I'll just quickly read the notes on this book. Now, remember, this is Linda's point of view. I don't think you should read this book on a live. It's not like reading a chapter in a book. It's questions and answers in an interview, so it may be confusing to read the questions and answers. I like things like questions and answers. You may enjoy flipping through it, but nothing really new in terms of things Lamar has previously said. As with many older books, guys around Elvis, Lamar is said to be Elvis's closest friend and confident. They all say that. That's true. This book was published in 2016 based upon an interview with Lamar Fike from earlier interviews. Lamar was deceased when this book was published. That's strange, isn't it? They bring out a book after he died. Lamar, after read, was one of the first guys around Elvis. On page 12, he states that he and Elvis, if they understood each other as brothers, as twins, also on page 13, Lamar's cousin Tommy McDonald makes a statement that Gladys saw Lamar as an embodiment of her son, Jesse Elvis's twin. I find that hard to believe, guys. He lived at Grayson and said that he was like part of the family. He spoke about Gladys and Elvis and their closeness and their tempers. No, I've no doubt that they were close. You know, I'm on about Lamar was around a lot, wasn't it? If I go on my phone and you get Lamar Fike with Elvis, those pictures go right back, don't they? Let's have a look. 1 second, it's got to check something. The wife told me to put the dryer on. Okay, done. Right, my lovely wife has told me put the dryer on, so I've done that. Okay, so what we're doing, we're going to get a picture of Lamar Fike up with Elvis, yeah, when he was young. Lamar Fike with Elvis. Do you guys think Lamar Fike was close to Gladys? So let me just show you the picture. Hi, Angel. I mean, Songbird. So he's well known for being a large man. I'm just trying to see if this is more 70s or 69 it could be. But is there any earlier ones than that? I don't think so. I think that one, the first one I showed you, is about as early as it gets, isn't it? This is, what's that? That's going to be 60s, isn't it? So it could be late 60s, early 70s. Right, okay. So I'm not sure. Oh yeah, we went to a pantomime, Adrian. It was brilliant, brilliant. Absolutely loved it. It was in Bristol, and it was with Colony, Billy Colony. Is that it? The one off EastEnders. Barry Connolly, Billy Connolly. Oh, I'm getting confused. The one off EastEnders. He was brilliant. He was absolutely great. Omar and Gladys were good friends. She trusted him. I believe Omar. You mean Lamar, right? Okay. Okay. Let's just keep reading. He lived at Graceland and said he was like family. So one significant statement he made that Gladys told Lamar, always remember when Elvis gets in a fight with you, it's from the mouth out. It's not coming from the heart. Okay. Shirley's book, and in Elvis, What Happened? Lamar was described as the court jester or the guy that was a great laugh. And I read this, guys, that he was funny. We've all seen the video where Elvis chucks a bit of water on him, yeah? And they're all having a laugh. There is a video on the internet, Elvis Funny Moments, part 1 and 2. And in one, you can see Elvis goofing around after or before the show, throwing, yeah, here we go, water at Lamar. Lamar seems annoyed, and I get the feeling he may have been the butt of a lot of jokes, just pointing it out to get a feeling for the dynamics. And I have watched that video, and he does look annoyed. He does. I don't know if Lamar is brutally honest or angry or jealous or combination. When he says something nice, it can be touching. When he speaks about Priscilla or how Elvis felt about the show in Vegas or just typical subjects, I get the feeling that he is being honest. But when he talks badly about Elvis, it's as if he never liked him. He can be quite cruel, using harsh words. There are contradictions. I do agree that some of the things Lamar said were just not nice. Just not nice. Right. More water. More water. So yeah, Lamar, I'll be honest with you, he's one of the ones that have said things the most that I don't like, Lamar. I think they all did a bit, but Lamar, he crosses the line a bit. He does. So, which is disappointing, seeing as he knew him way back. Yeah. If he knew him in the 50s as well, that's very disappointing, I think. Right. Should we put a bit of Elvis on in the background? See if I got my remote. So we're not in a rush, guys. We're just chilling out. I've got a couple of hours. I'm probably going to go shopping as well. Let's just put some. Okay, that's it. Bit of concert footage. We like that. Okay, this will last me now. Put a bit more milk in as well. The house feels really quiet, guys, because the only person here is my daughter, Talia. She's 18. She's up chilling out upstairs. Or at least I think she's home, unless she went out. So it is literally just me and my daughter. Right. There was an Elvis film on BBC Two today. All right, okay. I might go and watch that later. GI Blues, Blue Hawaii, Jailhouse Rock, love them all. Lamar didn't like Ginger at all. The dogs are with the Nan. So the Nan is very close to the dogs, you know, Aurora's mother. And she takes them every now and then for a couple of weeks, quite regularly. So it does make life much quieter for me, much easier when we're doing the live streams. I will say that. And they do love her as well. Right, let's have a look. So where were we going on this? There are contradictions in the book. In one statement, who more or less say Elvis was weak when it comes to the drugs, careless and lacked control. But then we'll say when Elvis had a challenge, he would rise to the occasion, like losing weight. And I see that. I've watched Elvis over the years. Sometimes he would go for it. He would like, right, I'm getting ready for this. Boom. And he'd go on a crazy diet and exercise, and he would look fantastic very quickly. He could be very determined. Yeah, very determined. And the way he turned his whole, the way he got ready for the 68 comeback special was amazing. The way he got ready for the big satellite show was amazing. You know, if he decided to do something, Elvis, he was unbeatable. Unbeatable. I really think that. Elvis had a challenge and he would rise to the occasion, like losing weight. The statement he meant more about if Elvis had the challenge of a world tour. Yeah. He does make a statement that Dr. Nick got too close to the lifestyle and Elvis owned him. Yeah, so I've read this many times. Elvis loaned money to Dr. Nick. Dr. Nick enjoyed, you know, being around Elvis, having that celebrity style lifestyle. And I think that created a grey area when it comes to Elvis's health. I think it did. I think Elvis did eventually look at Dr. Nick as quite a close friend. And it was a two-way thing. Dr. Nick looked at Elvis as almost like a brother. So I do think that may have caused problems. So he does make a statement that Dr. Nick got too close. Yeah. To the lifestyle. I'm finding out more about Dr. Nick, such as Dr. Nick and Joe Esposito started a racquetball business and then sued Elvis for money. Yeah, and I've read all about this, which shouldn't have happened. You know, Elvis was just trying to be nice, wasn't he? I think it was definitely a mistake, and I think many Elvis fans are upset with Joe Esposito because of that thing that went on there. So. Oh, that's good, Adrian. Thank you. It's not straightforward with me because I have 6 kids and a wife, and I'm quite a private person. I stay home. I don't really mix. It's not easy with me, but the wife controls every part of my waking movements. So thank you very much, though. Right. So that's it. Right, so that is Linda's notes. Now, let's just have a little look at some. Obviously, I'm not going to read loads, but I just want to have a little look. I'm not going to read Marty Lacker's words here. Not yet. Let's have a look. If it's just one page, I could. Just have a look. Let's have a look. So he was a good friend, intelligent, talented, and one of the wittiest people you'd ever meet. Okay, this is Lamar talking about Marty. Lamar had a good heart and he lived up to the saying, a friend in need is a friend indeed. If you were his friend, if he had something and you needed it, it was yours. Lamar was like a brother to me, and it's greatly saddened me when he left us after battling his illness for his last year. So this is Marty talking about Lamar. I don't know how Lamar died. Do any of you know how Lamar died? My life is better because of my brother Lamar. May he rest in peace. So did anyone know how he died? Marty Lacker was also a friend of Elvis from high school in Memphis. Lamar met Elvis through the Gladys days. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Josie. How are you, Josie? Thanks for joining us. Right, so okay. So then the next page just talks about Elvis, like the stuff that we all know, rags to riches story. Then it talks about Lamar Fike's life. So he was born on November the 11th, 1935, the first child of James Lamar Fike. Then it talks about his family, his parents. So there's quite a big section all about Lamar. How he met Elvis, where he worked, what he did with Elvis. I can see that. Right. So what will you learn about Elvis from these 400 questions? There's 400 questions, guys. Okay, well, this is going to be fun. Let me just get some space so I can. So, you know, we're only 19 people, so I don't want to start asking the questions until we've got more. Ayisa, I want to have more people here to ask these questions. So let's just wait a bit longer. But, you know, I have done this live stream at a bit of a funny time. Half of America is asleep. So, okay, let's have a look. So then it goes, his family roots. We're interested in Elvis, right? Right, here we go. Right, did Gladys protect him from the world? So the question to Lamar Fike, did Gladys protect him from the world? It's a good question. Absolutely, always. She was a good, kind, generous person. Gladys would give you the blouse off her back. That's just the way she was. Everybody in the family loved Gladys because she took care of everybody. Gladys was the matriarch of the whole family. I meant everybody leaned towards Gladys. Everybody did. Right. Okay, that's a good answer. Then the question is, what about Vernon? Yeah, I know, Ayisa. We got all the time in the world. Have you ever watched the film Time Machine? We got all the time in the world. George Orwell's Time Machine. Thanks, Josie. Right. Vernon was always distrustful of everybody. I think prison made it worse. Vernon didn't like anybody. Vernon liked me. He marginally liked me, but Vernon, he always felt everybody was a threat to him. We got along real well. In fact, I was the only one in the group to call him Vernon. I said, I didn't know that. So then none of them called him Vernon. What did they call him then? Mr. Presley? Josie, do you know? Did they call him Mr. Presley? What did they call him if they didn't call him Vernon? I always called him Vernon. He was afraid people would try to separate him from Elvis, and he worried how the money was spent and stuff like that. Typical dad stuff, innit? Yeah? Yeah, Mr. Presley. I think you're probably right. I never knew that. That's quite interesting. Did Gladys protect you when Elvis got on ornery? What does that mean? Would she step in and say, Elvis? When Elvis got ornery, O-R-N-E-R-Y. Don't know what that means. Yeah, she would. She'd say to him, calm down. I think, isn't that supposed to say angry? Yeah, she would. She'd say to him, calm down, leave it alone. He would do it. We'd get in an argument or something, and she saw that he started it, and she'd say, now you need to stop. That's enough of that. And Elvis would say, well, mama, no, there's no mama to it. You need to stop that. And later on, he'd say to me, listen, you son of a bitch. And I said, you know better than to start in front of your mother. You know how she is. Gladys really liked me. And I liked Gladys. I genuinely liked Gladys. I really, really liked her. And she knew it. Okay, that's good to know. So it's very interesting. Right, let me just push this back a bit. I want to get a bit more room for this book so I can put it down. Okay, guys. So in case you're new to this channel, it's Defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. It's Louis. I'm in Southwest UK. I'm 57. I'm a lifelong Elvis fan. And we defend Elvis, but we are also an Elvis channel. So we have lots of books and we cover lots of topics. It's not all defending Elvis. Somebody went on my... Every day I say to people... Sorry. Every day I say to people, we are not just defending Elvis. We are also an Elvis channel. And every day I get a message saying, that's got nothing to do with defending Elvis. You should be doing that. In fact, I had 2 messages yesterday because obviously we did the nose job. We did a couple of nose job videos, yeah, whether or not Elvis has had plastic surgery. 2 people told me off and said, that's not defending Elvis. Even though in that video, I did say, this has nothing to do with defending Elvis. We're just doing a different topic. So... We are also an Elvis channel. We do cover all topics. We're not just defending Elvis, yeah? Wouldn't that be boring if all we did was just defend Elvis? We've got to do stuff as well. Like, what are we doing now? This has got nothing to do with defending Elvis. We're just learning together about Elvis. And sometimes we talk about the diet, the keto diet. It's okay, guys. We're a community. We're a community of people. We can chat about anything, couldn't we? We could even talk about a cup of tea if we wanted to. We're more than just an Elvis channel. We are a community. We are Team Elvis. We can chat about whatever, but mainly Elvis and mainly defending Elvis. Let's have a look. Did he resent? Oh, that's interesting. Did you not actually know? Let me just. So look, that's an interesting question, guys. Oh, thanks, Denise. Did he resent his father from going to jail? He never talked about it. None of it came up. Elvis just didn't want to talk about it that much. Just something he didn't talk about. Yeah, and we know, obviously it would have had a massive effect on Elvis, wouldn't it? Come on. Your father goes to jail, yeah? It's about as horrible as it gets. So poor Gladys is left alone to fend for Elvis. Don't forget, they've had a death in the family with the stillborn Jesse. So horrible, horrible. Lamar Fike had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I don't know what that is, but Josie, did he die from it? What is it? Is it? I don't know what that is. Okay, so the next thing. Did Gladys try to protect him from the... Oh, no, we read that one. Let's keep going. Right. So, yeah, this is quite interesting. What was Elvis like when Elvis argued back with Gladys? Cancer of the neck glands. Oh, that sounds horrible. It's... Adrian, are you getting snow where you are, Adrian? Because we're not getting snow here yet. Obviously, I'm near Bristol, yeah? So, what was it like when Elvis argued back to Gladys? The biggest fights that Elvis had were with his mother. Vernon talked really low. Gladys screamed at the top of her lungs. You could hear her in the next county. They used to get in fights at the table. The big fights happened at the dinner table or at breakfast table. And boy, I mean, it scared the hell out of me. Elvis and her would start arguing, and God Almighty, you had to get out of the room. I mean, it got so loud that they throw food at each other and stuff like that. It got really bad. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. All right, so it is cancer. Oh, that's sad. God, cancer's everywhere, guys. It just puts a shiver through me, guys. Puts a shiver. So next question. Right, this is quite a good question. Was Gladys frightened of sudden fame? So the fame was moving real fast. They would get in a car, and Gladys and Vernon would drive around in a pink Cadillac. Whatever. Gladys would dip snuff. Gladys would dip snuff. Okay, so is that... You guys tell me what that is. I'm guessing you dip in something and then... Yeah, so it's snuff. Yeah, I've heard of... Isn't snuff that people did in the olden days? I don't remember snuff. I sort of... A little bit. Okay. Let's have a look. carried a little Maxwell House can to spit in. Ugh. Everybody in town recognized them. That bothered her. It really bothered her. Right. Elvis' fame, I think, had more to do with Gladys's death than anything. It just worried her to death. She was a chronic worrier. She worried all the time. Her drinking caused a lot of it too. You know, he was an only child. I mean, here's a woman that would follow him to school and walk him to school. When he was in 10th grade and 11th grade, she would walk him to school. You're talking a serious, you're not talking lightweight stuff. Elvis was a mama's boy. There was no, sorry, it's not very clear this. There was no if and buts. He was a mama's boy. I mean, he was there. That was it. Elvis could do no wrong around Gladys. Well, that doesn't make sense because obviously we know Elvis was very close to his mum, okay? You know, you can belittle it and call him a mama's boy if you want, but Elvis was close to his mum, no big deal, pretty normal, yeah? And then he says Elvis could do no wrong. Well, that doesn't make sense because he's just said that they argued like crazy. So they argued like crazy, Gladys and Elvis, but then he says Elvis could do no wrong. That doesn't add up to me. Doesn't add up to me. I know he, you know, you can say mama's boy, but he was close to his mum. Yeah. I try and sort of look at how they word it to not make him look small. Because I think sometimes they call him a mama's boy to make him look small. Yeah. And the thing where he says Elvis could do no wrong. Well, why do they argue like cats and dogs? So that doesn't make sense to me. She never let him grow. She suffocated Elvis. It drives Elvis crazy. Even that, I'm unsure about it because at the end of the day, he did go off and cut that record, didn't he? He did one earlier for her, didn't he? My Happiness. He had lots of jobs, didn't he? So Elvis was a very ambitious person. If you look at Elvis's very early years, you know, just before he moved from Tupelo and the years when he first goes to Memphis, I wouldn't class him as being suffocated. I think he was very ambitious. So, you know, I remember I think Emily, you're right. It does sound very contradictory. Yeah. Remember, we are reviewing this book. We're not agreeing with it all. We're not agreeing with it. I don't trust Lamar Fike. I think Lamar Fike rewrites the narrative to suit him, to suit his views. Because I've heard Lamar Fike say many things that I don't think he should have said. Yeah. So I'm being critical. That's my point. Let's have a look. Where are we? So it drives Elvis crazy. Later on, he toughened up. Everything Elvis did was for his mother. When he lost her, it was a void that was never filled. Yep. She was the matriarchal head of the house. It was a matriarchal family. The most families would be. She was the real symbolic center of the house. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. When she died, Elvis became the center. Yeah. Well, cool. Elvis, and also Elvis being the breadwinner, you know, he's the successful person that is bringing in the money, paying the bills, you know, buying the house, etc. So Elvis would push the limits as a teen, like any teenager boy. Perfect. Yeah, I don't believe that Elvis was suffocated. I don't believe that. I do believe that she worshipped him and he was her everything. I believe that she took him to school and that, but I don't think she suffocated him because he did a lot, didn't he, guys? He did a lot. Even listening to Sam Bell, the guy he grew up with in Tupelo, he says many interesting stories about Elvis being very adventurous and very generous and having loads of fun, sneaking into the cinema. So do I think Elvis was suffocated? Nah, don't agree. Do I think his mother worshipped and adored him and Elvis was everything to Gladys? Of course, yeah. Was Gladys a religious woman? Was Gladys a religious woman? When Elvis was younger, yeah, latter years, she never went to church, but she was a very religious woman. She had a lot of superstitions. That's the ad thing growing up in the South. God, this is so badly printed, this book. It's like loads of spelling mistakes. Where you find superstitions right next to hardcore religious belief. She passed that superstitious attitude to her son. Elvis was superstitious as hell. Just little things would happen and she'd tell him to watch out for this. Gladys didn't trust anybody. That's where Elvis got it. He didn't trust anybody either. Okay, well, yeah. I think that, does that sound right to you guys? Sounds okay to me. It's hard to trust people when everyone is coming to you because of who you are, how you look, because of your talent, because you got money, because you're their boss. It was hard for Elvis to know who was genuine. Gladys was a good mother. It's like Lisa brought her kids up in the same way and loved them unconditionally like their grandmother loved. Yeah, I agree with that, Josie. Gladys was a good reason not to trust anybody. Yeah? Okay. What role did Vernon play at the time? Vernon never became a center of the house. Never ever. I meant Vernon worked for his son. So, I mean, you can imagine what kind of transitional situation that was. You couldn't tell Elvis what to do. You've got a son making 10 million a year. In fact, Elvis fired him one day. They called me and I was in the kitchen. Vernon said, "You need to come up here." I said, "What is it?" He said, "Come up here." So I started coming up the stairs and Vernon came at me and I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Elvis just fired me." Come on. They had an argument. Dad and son had a row. Even I used to argue with my dad. And so I can completely see them arguing and Elvis going, "Right, that's it. You're fired." They don't mean it. Come on. It's just an argument. People, how many people argue and then say things they don't mean? It happens every day. Right. I definitely agree that Elvis had a hard time trusting others because he didn't know who was genuinely there and who was just wanting something. Yeah, come on. It's really difficult. It's really difficult. I had this problem in business because me and my twin had, I think at one point we had 5 businesses and we had 45 staff. And you did wonder who your friends were. You did, because all the people that were around me and my brother were staff. So you become friends with your staff. Yeah. You rely on your staff. You get resentment. You get the two-faced people. So it was difficult. We were running these businesses for like 30 years. Yeah. So obviously we've rented them now. We still own them, but we've rented them. So when you are putting money in people's pocket, when you're the person in charge, you do get a lot of jealousy. You do. You don't know who to trust. You don't know who to trust. Thankfully, now I rent my businesses. So I'm a landlord. So I don't have staff anymore. I don't have staff anymore. But when I did, it was difficult. It was difficult. Right. Okay. Obviously, I got a twin brother. Everything we do is together. Yeah. So what was it a huge shock for Vernon to see his son become an international music film star? That's a good question. I like that. It says it was unbelievable. It used to drive Vernon nuts. All the guys around Elvis, the whole entourage became Vernon because Vernon thought they were spending his money. He didn't like that. Vernon had a backache a long time. The way they're putting these words together, I don't get it. Vernon never really was a big provider. Gladys was the provider. It was strictly matriarchal family. It was not patriarchal. It was Gladys and Elvis, then Vernon, and she ran it all. She was the provider. Vernon was not. And he was taken out of the role immediately when Elvis became a star. Okay. I think it's because that this is a conversation. Someone's trying to put a conversation into words, aren't they? This is a good question. Did Elvis feel close to Vernon at all? He was very close to his dad, loved his dad big time, but you know he would get into arguments with him all the time. He respected his father, but he didn't particularly. See, that doesn't make sense. He respected his father, but he didn't particularly. That's just weird. He had a hard time when his dad remarried, but he handled it. Okay, so obviously we know that when Vernon got with Dee, Elvis just was against it, but he was really good to the kids, wasn't he? To the Stanley brothers, yeah? Treated them like his stepbrothers. So we know that Elvis was completely against Dee. We also know that Dee was cuckoo. Dee Stanley, she's not all there, is she? Right, let's go to the next. It's quite interesting though, guys. How did Elvis' extended family regard him? He was somebody to borrow money from. I can see that. He took care of all of them. He took care of everybody in the family, and they borrowed money from him all the time. He was always giving them money. I see that, guys. Don't forget, many people that Elvis was around were very poor. The family that Elvis grew up with were very poor. So Elvis was taken advantage of, wasn't he? Are you off, are you, Deborah? Take care. You must be very tired, Deborah. Okay, the next question. Did Elvis have any idea what a great musical innovator he was? Oh, yeah, he knew. Yeah, well, that's good. He was the best. So were his family proud of him? Absolutely super proud, yeah. When you look at it, there was nobody like him. It was the first time an ordinary American teenager from out of nowhere became a household word everywhere in the world. A household word everywhere in the world. So yeah, the family were very proud of him. Right, there's 26 on, so I'm going to have a go asking some questions. I'm going to bring it to an hour, and then I've got to go shopping. Let me get the notes that Linda did. Let's put them back in the book. So Linda, if you watch this later, we have started doing stuff with your book. So we are on page 24. Page 24. I can't see the notes. They've disappeared. That's weird, but we will suss it. I'll put these here for now. Right. So now, Ayisa, are you still here? We're gonna. Someone's at the door. So, Ayisa, we're gonna read some questions. Are you here, Ayisa? 1 second. So, I'm gonna go through that book. I actually find that book quite interesting. Okay, it's all good. It's all good. Right. Ayisa, are you there? Yes, you're still here. Sorry, Ayisa. Right, so we've got over 20. I'm not expecting many to come on at this time, but we're going to at least ask some questions, yeah? Janice, did you say there was a Janice? Janice, do you mean Jane? Okay, right. So this book was sent to me by Ayisa. She sent me 3 books. Da-da-da. This is what Ayisa sent me. So on here, she is Girl Happy. So we got from the beginning to the end. And we've got me and a guy named Elvis. And I've heard that Jerry's book is really good. We will do an introduction to this book, to Jerry's book. Obviously, the way we do it, we have to be careful how we read it. We can only read little bits at a time. It looks good, though. Thank you, Ayisa. Right, let's see if we can find some questions. We definitely need a shelf, or a suitcase, something. This is sort of my space, but then obviously when we're going to eat dinner, I do clear it all away. My wife makes sure of that. Obviously there's a lot of questions in here. We don't see the answers unless we find them at the back. I'm guessing that the answers are at the back, but it's only a short book, guys. So let me just see how we get. Oh, I see. Yeah. So let me just see. So this is the A. So let's just see how it works. So if we look, say it's question number 20. How many records? Right. Just say this. Yeah. How many Elvis records have appeared in the Billboard Top 40? So then it gives us 4 answers. It says, "Hi Larry." It says 85, 95, 105, or 115. So then how do we find the answer? I'm just trying to see how this book works with answers. So the question number was 20. Let's have a look. Not straightforward, is it, guys? Let's have a look. See how this works. So, because it doesn't say 20. It doesn't say the number 20. Strange. I'm going to have to figure it out. 20. Where's number 20? There's no number 20. Let's have a look. Ah, here we go. Right, here we go. I've got it. So let's ask the question again. Right, so you say 115. And the answer was 115. 115. Well done, Finola. Finola, are you guessing? Right, next. What was the song that was based on the Italian classic song O Sole Mio? What was the song based on the Italian classic song O Sole Mio? Come on, guys. Right, Songbird said it's now or never. Lorna Wooden Heart. So what am I doing, Lotto? It's now or never is Josie G, now or never. So this is question 23. It's Now or Never is based on the Italian song O Sole Mio, which was written back in 1898. In 1960, It's Now or Never spent 5 weeks at #1 in the US and 8 weeks at #1 in the UK and was hugely successful in numerous other countries, going on to sell over 25 million copies worldwide, making it Elvis's biggest selling international single ever. Wow! Did anyone know that? Did anyone know that? It sold 25 million copies, which is like, whoa, worldwide. making it the biggest selling international single ever. Did anyone know that? It was the biggest selling, what? Ever. It's now or never. Wow. I can't believe that. Right, okay. Next on the list. So we've got the next question. I like the fact it gives quite detailed answers. Let's keep going, guys. If the questions are too easy, I'm going to skip them. I don't want them to be too easy. Okay, right. Here we go. Let's start again with some more. Yeah, these are a bit too easy. If they're too easy, then... here we are. This is a good question. How old was Elvis when he bought Gracelands? How old was Elvis when he bought Gracelands? Yeah, I heard that while he was in Germany, and he was obviously had a lot of time to himself, that was when he decided that he was going to start doing ballads. So Songbird says 22. All of you are saying 22. Finola saying 24. Let's have a look. I actually don't know the answer. It's going to be a long answer, I'm guessing, which is good because I like to learn. Let's have a look. God, this book is a bit confusing. So the question number is question number 34. Elvis was aged 22 years old when he bought Gracelands for $102,500 in 1957. There we go. 22, 1957. Okay, next question. If they're too easy, I'm not going to ask them. This will do. This is not too bad. Where did Elvis live in Los Angeles with his wife? Where did Elvis live in Los Angeles with his wife? Come on, guys. Okay. We have Beverly Hills. This is Jean. It's a good question, actually. I don't know the actual place, really. Come on, Girl Happy. Where did Elvis live in Los Angeles with Priscilla? Okay, 36. Now, I'll give you the answers. I'll give you the 4 answers it gives. Beverly Hills, Hollywood, Malibu, or Santa Monica. Beverly Hills, Hollywood, Malibu, or Santa Monica. In a house, yeah. So I'm guessing it's Beverly Hills. I'm guessing. We're going to find out now. Number 36. Let's have a look. Come on, give me the answers. Where are you? We want the answer to number 36. Did I hear something then? Elvis lived at, yeah? Yeah, of course you can. Elvis lived at 1174 Hillcrest Road in Beverly Hills, Los Angeles between 1967 and 1973 with Priscilla and their daughter Lisa Marie. It was a large property in the French Regency style with 5 bedrooms and floors to ceiling windows with sweeping views across the city down to the ocean. Okay, so it was Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills, guys. Yeah, good idea, Yisa. Yeah, they were Beverly Hillbillies. I think you're right, Larry. Okay, next question. See, not a terribly hard question, but we didn't really know. Not all of us knew, did we? Oh, this is a good one. What was Elvis's last US #1 single? Remember, #1 single. Because I remember when I was a kid, the last single I heard was Way Down in a Tidal Wake. Yep. The last US #1. Come on, guys. Let's do this. So Josie says Suspicious Minds. I'm not going to tell you them all yet. I'm going to wait until you guys choose. So we got Angel, Suspicious Minds. You got Jean, Moody Blue. Remember, Jean, the last #1, not the last single, the last #1. Okay, Josie, thank you for joining us, Josie. Do you know what? It's funny. Finola, you're probably right. Finola says a little less conversation, but at the time of this book being printed, it probably wasn't that, was it? But I do remember when a little less conversation came out. You're right. You're being clever. Finola, you're being clever. Ah, the Moody Blue album. Ah, but it didn't say album here. It said single. Single. So I'm going to give you the 4 answers, and then we're going to find out, yeah? Right. So it's Burning Love, or Good Luck Charm, or In the Ghetto, or Suspicious Mind. And the answer is Suspicious Minds was Elvis's last #1 single in the US before his death. It topped the chart in November 1969. November 1969. We all love it. Come on. We all love Suspicious Minds today. Right. Next one. God, some of the questions are quite easy. I'm going to say it anyway. Who was appointed executor of Elvis's estate after he died? Go for it, guys. Who was? It's a bit of a complicated answer, really. Who was appointed executor of Elvis's estate after he died? So Jean says Vernon. Denise says Priscilla. Jana says Blancard Etoile. I know that Blancard Etoile is the one that sacked Colonel Tom Parker, isn't he? His father. Elizabeth says his father. Yeah, I mean it's a complicated one, isn't it? Because there were still living family members. Wasn't Aunt Delta still alive and Minnie May still alive? So it wasn't straightforward, was it? It couldn't be Lisa because she was too young, and then it couldn't be Priscilla because they had divorced. So to me, it had to be Vernon. Yeah. Let's have a look. Number 39. Elvis's father was executor of his estate. Vernon Presley, Minnie May, Elvis's grandmother, and Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis's daughter, inherited the estate. As such, Lisa Marie now owns Gracelands and all of her father's effects. So it's not a straightforward answer. Let me read it again. Elvis's father was the executor of his estate. Vernon Presley, Minnie May Presley, Elvis's grandmother, and Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis's daughter, inherited the estate. As such, Lisa Marie now owns Gracelands and all of her father's effects. Okay, so really it's Vernon, but so he's running the show, but Elvis has, by the looks of it, made sure that Minnie May and Lisa are in that. Yeah. Okay, guys, we've been an hour. I'm gonna have to go. Yeah, so I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna go shopping, and I'm gonna come back. We're gonna carry on. Okay, so it's been an hour already. We've already done an hour. So Ayisa, thank you so much. We've got lots more questions to ask. Ayisa, thank you for sending this book. Loved it. Loved it. We only asked a few questions, but I really enjoyed it. I want to do these questions when there's like 40 people watching. Okay, then. All right, guys. But don't forget, when I come back, Ayisa, when I come back, we can do this later. We don't have to do this when I come back. When I come back, we'll probably pick a different topic, and then we can do this when Ayisa's with us. Yeah? Ayisa, we'll do this when you're with us. Yeah? Okay. Guys, gotta go. Thanks for joining me. That was fun. It was nice just to have a bit of fun, to give the Defending Elvis a bit of a break, and we can just be an Elvis channel. Yeah, it's nice to just be an Elvis channel sometimes. Okay, guys, all the best to you. Happy New Year and all that. And it's freezing out there. I'm going to brave it and go shopping. Take care, guys. All the best. Love to all of you.